Greetings, entities and guardians, my name is HyperHimes, and after two whole entire updates revolving around those plumbing dragon cookies, we can finally go ahead and chillax a bit and do stuff that can actually help us relax. And honestly, I don't know about you, but my mind immediately darts to listening to music. I mean, I tend to listen to a whole lot of different types of music. It could be rock music, classical, techno, rap, and, well, basically anything that I usually see within some Spotify playlist or... Oh, well, now that I think about it, I just end up listening to a lot of video game soundtracks. I mean, to be fair, it still counts as music, but honestly, it makes a lot of perfect sense because this is a perfect segue because we're dealing with a video game as well. That's right, after finally dealing with two dragon-related updates, we can finally have an update that should be more on the peaceful side. I mean, to be fair, it most likely won't be, but in comparison to the updates that we just had, this one should be a little bit more calm. Anyways, the Cookie Run OvenBreak YouTube channel recently released a teaser to a new upcoming Cookie Run OvenBreak update. Now, if you're new here, then what we do here is pretty simple considering that we've done this many times before. Our goal is to first describe the video in detail to explain what happens inside of it, analyze any sort of small clues or details in the video that could give us any sort of idea as to what to expect in the update, and then finally try to predict what we could be seeing within the next Cookie Run OvenBreak update before the update reveal video releases. Now, of course, I want to make sure that I also state something important considering the fact that we're on the internet. Whatever I state in this video has a high likelihood of actually not appearing within the new Cookie Run OvenBreak update. These predictions and theories are just that. They're predictions and they're theories. They could be right, but they could also be wrong. I just love making these videos to not only hype myself up, but also others as well if anyone's interested. This update is going to be pretty interesting, and I only say that because of the small details in the video because they're actually really cool in my opinion. But enough with that, let's make like Ananas Dragon and basically know nothing about music. Wait, what was my line? Oh yeah, let's rock. The video starts off with us walking towards a large building with some birds in the background chirping, as well as some birds out at the front pecking some seeds or bread pieces. However, we then suddenly look up into the sky, and then the scene would transition into a big room with a bunch of things, like a drum set, a desk with books, papers, and a vinyl disc with a few posters off to the side. We would then see a closer view of the left, where we could see both a guitar and a bass, a pair of headphones, a radio, and a few more books. We would also see a locker with a few photos on it with a seemingly familiar cookie posted onto the locker. Suddenly, a cookie with drumsticks walks out, throwing the stick in the air and catching it. A poster of sorts then flies into our face, which says the words, "Hope you got a sweet tooth, cause our music's sugar-packed." As the paper gets pulled away, the text shown to us says, "Cookie Run OvenBreak, Shout, Sweet School Band, Grand Reveal on June 18th, 0500 PST and 2200 KST. Okay, so ironically enough, I think there were more details in that teaser video than the one we previously got in the last update. However, there's still a good amount of details that I want to quickly go over. First of all, just as the name of this update states, this update takes place in a school. However, the classroom that we see doesn't really strike me as a classroom that students can learn in. I mean, one desk, a single locker, and other things like radios and other music live playing. Personally, I think this school acts more like a college campus, where cookies have their own apartments and rooms that they can go and live in so that they can practice their musical skills with other cookies who will most likely form a band together. Secondly, this new cookie that we see has a pretty unique design. It actually reminds me of a sweet treat known as a Pocky. Granted, I think that's branded, so it might have to be called something else. However, for now, why don't we call this cookie Rocky Pocky Cookie because, you know, rock music. Third, Rocky Pocky Cookie seems to be heavily enthralled with Rockstar Cookie, which is another cookie who's been within the Cookie Run series for a while. However, this is obvious because of the stickers that we see stuck onto her locker. Maybe Rockstar Cookie was the inspiration for her becoming a musician? Who knows. Finally, there's this small photo of Rocky Pocky Cookie along with another cookie who I can only assume is Rocky Pocky Cookie's roommate. From what I can assume and guess, this most likely is going to be our other playable cookies since it seems that these two have been through a lot together since they're willing to take a photo of themselves together. That's a majority of the small things I want to mention, but there's only one more small detail that I left out that I want to also point out. If you pause the video at just the right moment, you'll be able to see the name of the band or group Rocky Pocky Cookie is in, which is called Sweet Punch. Maybe her real name is Crunch Punch Cookie, maybe the roommate has something to do with punch? I'm not exactly sure, but that actually gives us a ton of material to work with for what we should expect within the new story once it comes out. The story to this new update might be smaller in comparison to the Dragon storyline, but here's what I think is going on. Rocky Pocky Cookie and her roommate, which for the time being I'll call Sweet Bass Cookie, are two cookies who enrolled into a musical school at the same time, with the both of them soon becoming roommates and learning together ever since. While Rocky Pocky Cookie has been at work mastering the drums, Sweet Bass Cookie is most likely the one playing guitar in their band Sweet Punch. This is proven because if we peek back at the Polaroid photo, we see Sweet Bass Cookie holding up a guitar, making the musical dynamic between them even better. I think the school is going to hold a competition, a Battle of the Bands competition of sorts, in which they'll all have every band in the school go head to head with each other and play their best tunes to see who wins the grand prize. Now, what exactly is the grand prize, you may ask? Well, it's a chance to meet the one and only musical protege, rockstar Cookie himself, and even maybe get a few pointers and lessons from him as well. However, considering that the two, or at least one of them, seems to be heavy fans of rockstar Cookie, the stress seems to get to them heavily. They try their hardest to not mess up practicing during songs, but things seem to keep taking a turn for the worse. So, how did they get this situation resolved? Well, to simply put it, the two are there for each other. They have to rely on each other to make sure that the both of them get out of these bad situations. It's because of this that makes them end up being the best band at the school. They aren't just the best at making music, but they're also the best in regards to trusting and helping each other. Plus, that rockstar meeting prize is too good not to lose. So what would these cookies even do? Well, let's start off with Rocky Pocky Cookie. I think what she would do is that she would occasionally jump onto a drum set and she would perform a drum solo that consists of, spamming the jump and slide buttons that turn into drum buttons that make her repeatedly hit her drum set for a multitude of points. And also, with a magic candy, this causes her to finish her solo off with a harsh cymbal hit, causing a large amount of musical jellies to blast out from her drum set. Of course, Rocky Pocky Cookie has to also have a pet. I think her pet would consist of a small trading snare drum. I actually did have one of these growing up. Occasionally, a pair of small drumsticks would float above this little fella and start bopping it on the head, causing small amounts of snare drum jellies to rain down upon the running cookie. Now comes Sweet Bass Cookie. Considering how they play the guitar, I think her skill is more on the passive side. After running for a moment, the small guitar meter charges up, and after a solid amount of running, pressing the slide button will make her do an extreme musical riff on her guitar, blasting everything around her with guitar note jellies. And with her magic candy, after 2 riffs, it will make the next one you do even more extreme, causing an even bigger array of points to burst out. Now for Sweet Bass Cookie's pet, I think it would make sense to be a little guitar pick. Occasionally, this little pet will strum itself in the air, legitimately playing the air, causing it to play music which not only gives points, but also gives energy to the cookie running because of the soothed tunes. Now finally, we have to mention a treasure. I think it would be as simple as a microphone which would occasionally blast out musical notes for points that would also be loud enough to destroy any obstacle in the way of the cookies for even more points. It's like eardrums erupting. We definitely can't celebrate a musical update without some musical-based costumes. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. The new cookies, Rocky Pocky Cookie and Sweet Bass Cookie, are both going to get new costumes because, well, it's basically a given at this point that new cookies will always get costumes. Secondly, I think it would make so much sense for Rockstar Cookie to get a costume as well. I mean, he plays the guitar and is probably a big inspiration for the new cookies introduced in this update after all. Another pair of cookies I could probably see getting costumes are Marshmallow Cookie and Macaroon Cookie, or Macaron Cookie, however you want to pronounce it, because they both play the trumpet and the drum respectively, being good instruments. Also, just to throw an oddball in there, someone I thought it would be funny to give a costume to is Sonic Egg Cookie, mainly because there's a Rockstar Cookie costume where they actually have a broom instead of a guitar, so what if we just swap the roles and instead of Sonic Egg Cookie having that mop, they instead have a full-fledged guitar? Also, there's only one more recommendation that I probably have for a costume. Please give DJ Cookie some sort of a costume or something, please, 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 please. Finally, let's talk about some of the new events and game modes that are going to be added to the new Cookie Run OvenBreak update. Just like the last handful of updates, how the new game mode is going to work is that there's going to be 5 stages to run in which completing each stage will give you a cutscene to the story and also a few gems and some rewards, and once you complete the whole entire story, hard mode will be unlocked in which the levels are harder and there's potential story missions that you'll also need to complete just for more optional story. And of course, as per usual, we're also going to be getting renewed versions of the Cookie Mastery event, the Treasure Mastery event, and also the Meet the Treasure event. If there's one event I want to return, it would be the gift box event. Basically how that event works is that you need to complete certain missions so you can go ahead and upgrade certain sets of items. With this time, it would be focusing on different types of musical instruments. And they usually have 3 tiers, like for example with a guitar, it would usually go from an old rusty guitar, to a standalone fresh looking guitar, to a full-on bass electric guitar. Stuff like that. New daily gifts are going to be given out, there's going to be a new jelly set available for purchase, a $10 pet costume, and there's also going to be a Rainbow Cube coupon code given at the end of the update reveal video. Now before I end this video, I need to make sure that I state this because it's pretty important. Be sure to complete any sort of event before the new update arrives and grab as many rewards from those events as you can before the new update happens, because when it comes, they're gone for good. But what do you all think about the new update? Are you excited or are you really disappointed considering it's not the new Dragon update? Be sure to tell me down in the comment section below, and also be sure to tell me if you're interested in anything that's going to be appearing within the new update, or you have your own predictions and theories that you want to post in the comments below. Let's get pretty interactive here. But with that being said, said, if you enjoy the video, then please be sure to leave a like on it, and also share the video with your friends if you enjoy my Kick and Run content, and if you enjoy my content in general, then why not subscribe, and also hit the bell icon to be notified of whatever I do in the future. Also, down below in the description, you'll see links to all of my social media, including a Twitter post where if it gets 10,000 likes, I can get the Kick and Run YouTube stuff for absolutely free. You'll see a link to my Discord server called the HyperHimes Hub, a link to my merchandise where you can buy stuff to represent the channel, and lastly, a link to my Ko-fi, where for just $1 a month, you can help, support this channel, and also see exclusive videos that you wouldn't normally see in this normal YouTube channel. But above all else, I will see you entities and guardians in the next video. Hail the hype knees.